Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a game review of the demo of In the Service of Mrs. Claus. It's a choose your own adventure indie game. The developer and publisher is Choice of Games. It came out in 2019. It's got mostly positive reviews and it's currently for £5 in Steam. It's for Windows 7 onwards, and it says you're the only elf who can save Christmas from the forces of darkness. If you can hear any noises, the dog's scratching behind me, unfortunately. Sorry about that. So you're the only elf who can save Christmas from the forces of darkness. Clash with cults, gods, and giant corporations to preserve Mrs. Claus's empire. Now, I've played plenty of these before, so there's not much to it. So I'll kind of go through it here. See, it's this. Even though the images always show you something of a nice looking woman and it's Mrs. Claus obviously, and elves and stuff, you don't see any of that. There's none of that in here. All it is text, just text based. And so you have achievements here. You can collect these achievements here. This tells you a bit about it. So it tells you about what you're going to be doing. Obviously, because I've got the demo here, you can play the first chapters of the game for free. In the menu, you've got the various different settings. There's not much to it. You can change the color. So this, it always gets confused. This is sepia. So you have black, see, or you can have white, or you can have sepia, which apparently this is, because I always get confused. And then you can don't animate between pages and stuff like that. So it's basically, if you've ever if you don't know what this is, if you've ever had one of those books when you were a kid, or you know what I mean, where you open it up and it says, right, okay, so for example, for this, so Mrs. Claus, Santa's died, and so you would look in your book and it would, oh, Santa's died. Do you go to the railway station or do you go to the car park? So you go, oh, okay, I'll go to the car park. So you turn to page 12. So you turn to page 12, and then in page 12 you'll have a few bits of story, and it'll say, oh, do you pick up the presents, or do you throw them away, or do you do this? And each one will have a different page number. You go back and forth, and your adventure changes. So if you then play it or read it again, and then you decide to go to the train station, to the car park, or whatever it is, then your story will change based on your choices. Hence, it's a choice. Choose your own adventure. So that's kind of what this is. I'll go into it. I will read a little bit, otherwise it's boring, but within reason. I'm not going to read too much because my throat will give up. But this is all it is. So there's not much to the reviews, but this company, Choice of Games, this is their main area. So if you like this one and you're curious, check out Choice of Games. They've got loads, and I've done quite a few reviews of them. So here we go. Tonight's the night. After 2,000 years of service, you'll be the very first elf to receive the prestigious Golden Tannenbaum Award. Never mind the news about the cults forming in the wastes, never mind the reports of Crinkle Core's increasingly common buyouts of toy companies, and never mind the rumour that your old friend Flickering Flame is gathering an army against Claus Castle. Tonight is about you and your achievements. Mrs. Claus will be pleased, but not if you don't make it in time to greet the guests. The feast starts in 2 minutes and you're halfway around the castle. How are you going to get there before the ceremony begins? So here you go. You've got all these options. So depending on what you select here, changes the dynamic of the game. So yeah, as I always say, stealthy like a snail. People say to me, what the hell do you mean stealthy as a snail? Come on, have you ever heard a snail sneaking up on you? You concentrate and feel your physical form becoming faint and shadowy. With firm but silent steps, you make your way down into the ballroom. You pass through crowded hallways, guard patrols, and even hectic castle kitchens unnoticed and unremarked. The others are gathered on the stage while the staff set up. You slide into your chair and relax your enchantments. Okay. Effulgent radiance nearly jumps out of his seat when he sees you, but the others laugh. Your shadowy exploits are legendary in the castle. The feast won't start for another 30 minutes, but it's time to greet the guests. Oh, I thought it said 2 minutes. You sit on the stage as the delegations from allied principalities arrive one at a time. The hall begins to fill with the castle elves as well. You can hear the growing crowd gasp and murmur when the more unusual ambassadors arrive. I'll read this next one and that's about it, all I'll do. An attendant elf comes up to you and whispers in your ear. The spider's entourage has to be reseated after a squabble with the harvest gods, so we have additional VIP seat in the front. Who would you like us to invite? You scan the incoming monsters and Faye, looking for an appropriately distinguished guest. Who do you pick? And so forth and so forth. So I'm not going to do it, but I'm just going to click on this one. So you can do that, and if I go into my stats, it tells me that I'm more of a grumpy goose. Traits. See? I like trickery here. My relationships, well, that's not really happened yet. And then it tells you a bit more about it here. And there's something about, I don't know if this goes to an open website. Sometimes they do. Oh, there you go. So you get to know a bit more stuff. And if I go my achievements, which is pointless, I might unlock, if I learn the truth about Stanley's death, I'll receive 25 points. You don't get Steam achievements, by the way. This is it. So this is basically it. This is the game. There you go. But if you like this kind of stuff, if you like this kind of choose your adventure, just relaxing, reading, and just chilling, then you'll enjoy this game. Why not? It's a very relaxing type of game. Like I say, I've reviewed quite a lot of these, so if you do want to see any more, have a look at my channel. I've got a playlist, I think, going of Choose Your Own Adventures, so you can have a look at those. But yeah. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to In the Service of Mrs. Claus. Like I said, there's not much to really do with this game, because there's no actual, action. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Like I say, if you played this kind of game, leave a comment in the comments box below. I don't know, everyone's plays different types of things, so I always try different things to showcase them. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.